So, Deeping, I heard you're going up for independent candidate for Dominica. If you were the Prime Minister, what would you do?
If I was the Prime Minister of Dominica, I would get the plug, send them fit boat round the whole Caribbean. Build some factories so people can get work if they want. Yes, I would rise up on the cost of labor so youth can see their future, so they can pull together. I would rush the airport, bring in foreign investors, build some structures to battle up with any weather. Legalize the weed to the fullest, let the thugs go water to make the euro and the US to feed their children. I know how it feels to live in a country with no kind of means, to make the money how you please, because to every ghetto youth this is a dream, to own your first max and don't kill for it. Dominicans, it's a lie. It's time for you to realize you need to plant your food in order for you to survive. The Bible said his faith with works is not work with faith. While your hard work go down the drain, I would bring back Ross and fix the pot so I could tell the opposition to hush their mouth.
A pleasant good afternoon to everybody. Welcome to another episode of T-Unity's Roundtable Discussion, and I decided to start the discussion with the tune here from the youth, Dominican youth. I think he's from Portsmouth, but he's residing overseas, named Deepeng, and the song called If I Was. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Bruno. It's fresh off your program.
Hey, my partner.
I trust you heard the song. You look like you were enjoying it.
Yeah, I just find it ended abruptly on a very interesting line. I don't know if that was by design, Carlos. It is, yeah, Deepeng is very interesting. Very interesting.
Good afternoon to all viewers. I see we have Petra Carbon George. Good afternoon, sister. How are you? Hope everything is okay with the family. Alex, I see Petra is doing a very interesting project in the VI there, trying her best to expand the opportunities for air travel into Dominica. So we must big up for actually, as the song that introduced the program says, is not faith alone, it's faith with works. So she has faith in her country and she's putting the work in to make things happen.
Well, yeah, man. Petra is family, eh? I mean, I'm telling you, I'm proud of her. And what she's doing is important. In fact, one of my family members called me from St. Thomas, and he wants to know whether the flight will be operated in November as well. Because I told him it is just October, every Sunday in October. But he said, but the way it's going and the fact that it's so difficult to get flights out of the VI to Dominica, they're planning a reunion, some family thing, and a lot of people from Woodford Hill are going to go down. So maybe it would be nice if they could convince her to do a couple flights in November, because that's going to be an opportunity for them to maybe give her business or whatever. I have to call her. I haven't called her yet. So I can call back my family and let them know. But for now, I know it is October, the Sundays in October.
Well, she's just saying all year round November is open for booking.
Oh, Lord. So that's it. So I don't want to call my partner name. I could call his name, live, Richard, you heard the news. My family. Richard, you heard the news. Good news.
Good job, Petra. Good job. And I was going to reach out to on that because when I myself started promoting the flight, and the first set of responses I started getting on, is it only for independence? Is it going to continue after independence? Because that is one area that seems to be a little weak on the connections to Dominica.
Yeah, the VI's connection. Liat used to go in VI's steadily, and you could do a nice connection to on Liat, but since Liat, boy, VI's is like a tough place to travel out of to get into Dominica. You have to go sometimes north to go down back to Dominica, man. And we just a bounce away from Dominica, in the VI's.
Well, Alex, is the fact that the demise of Liat. I mean, we used to curse Liat a lot
Not you, not me. I don't think I never curse Liad, boy. I always believe Liad.
And when I say we, I
Oh,
say we Caribbean people.
good.
Give Liat the blues. We give it all kind of acronyms. Luggage in any tongue. Leave at any time. All kind of acronyms for Liat. But
Boy,
we're now seeing the void that has been created with the demise of Liat.
we were too myopic with our thinking, and we caused the demise of, well, not us, the people, but government. Malmanagement of Liad caused us to lose our regional carrier, and with that, we lose the connectivity that we had as a Caribbean. And it's going to be very hard to get back early yet. Very difficult. But leaders of the Caribbean, if they are worth their soul, should find the answer and the solution, because it is impossible for us to continue the way we're going. Before Liad went down, we could fly. It was expensive, but we could still fly. Right now, it's almost impossible because the cost of flying is in the thousands of US. Because Miami is Dominica's hub, or the regional hub to go to different countries right now. It used to be
Wow.
Antigua and Barbados.
Wow.
Right now, the hub is Miami.
Wow.
My brother, that is the hub. That's why things are so expensive. That's why if you have to go to Dominica from St. Thomas, you go to Miami, man, to go to Dominica. So our sister Petra is playing a role, man. And Carlos, we should probably invite her on our program, on our platform. She'll be more than happy probably to come and talk to us about her vision for not just the airlines subsidy, but the food, because she also has, what she does, she bring people in and she bring foods out. She bring food and provision out. She do that as well through the luggage and cargo services that she do from St. Thomas as well. I mean, from the VIs as well.
Okay.
So let us find a way to talk to her people, see if her people will have her come to us and we can talk about her vision, because yeah, I want to work with Petra. I promote her and I'll be very happy to work with her in any way to help her promote Dominica, because she understands. I'm not sure where she is in terms of, well, I know where she is. I think she's a progressive person. And I think progressive people are not generally supportive of government right now. So maybe she may not she may not be 100% supportive of the government, but she supports her country, right? So it would be nice to have her on, Carlos. You are, as the leader, get in touch with her people and let's have the sister on. But she's doing an amazing job with the program, and I know my family will be happy that the flight continues in November, and possibly December, and then I guess Petra can review to see whether she can just keep that little connection going, man. And you never know, before you know it, Petra has her own airline, her own shipping line. Petra is a young person with a wonderful family, a good brain on her head, good head on her shoulders. So I see her becoming some major business person if she continues in what she's, and but we must support her, Carlos. We must support her. So I hope she's hearing what I'm saying about her. Petra, I mean it. And I will do whatever it takes to give you the support. I am not a millionaire to say I can bankroll you, but I can give you all the support.
You sure about that? I was told that you get a big money, you know.
Yeah, people that say I get a big money is people that don't understand my ethics and how I work. I mean, probably I could have gotten it for real, but I'm not going to take money on the backs of our people. While I nice and comfortable people, as a diplomat, people struggling, no, I'm not going to do that. If my diplomacy comes with me helping to resolve the problems of the youth, fine. So if you want to make me an ambassador or a leader of the opposition or something in Dominica, there must be a deal where the young people, the elderly, the less abled get support from my office. If not, you can keep it until we get in there on my own volition. I don't want any support from anybody that I'm going to benefit from, and my people are going to suffer. No. I will suffer with my people, man.
Thank you for that, Alex. So today on our program, we're supposed to be talking of the Reimagined Dominican Road Network under a TUD government, and this is part one. This is part one. Now, this is something I would like to say that would take some time to discuss, because our road network, it requires a lot of work. I mean, we we see that with as of late a lot of landslides, land slippage. We experience and we're part of all the traffic congestion, the parking headaches in Roseau, and the list goes on. Every month, the car boat brings in excess of 50 vehicles, and those vehicles go into circulation on the roads. But what are we doing in terms of traffic management? Recently, when there was a new head of the Portsmouth branch of the police force, new rules for traffic was put in for that area. Has that helped? And what is Team Unity's vision for a reimagined road network with future proofing and bringing things up to par as compared to what's done internationally, and where how do we plan on financing those kind of projects?
Interesting. So you mentioned the importation of cars continually into Dominica on the same basic road infrastructure.
Yes,
And herein lies the problem. That is bottleneck. That is problem that could even contribute to the accidents we're seeing more prevalent, fatalities and stuff like that. I'm going to give you a little rundown in terms of a brief history of the roads in Dominica, Carlos, based on my knowledge and information that I received from interviews that I did with important people. Elkin Henry is the major contributor of that, my research as well. Elkin Henry was a politician from Maho.
that's a great man and the father of some of the people that I am very familiar with. Father, grandfather, uncle.
Yeah. So he lived in Maho, and I would go to Elkin almost every other day. He was my friend. I would go to his house, we would talk. He lived close to the sea on that side of the road. I would always walk into the little alley, sit down and talk to my
And
father.
the little alley,
Yes,
that alley still exists today.
sit down and talk to Elkin. I am always an inquisitive guy when it comes to the politicians and politics. So Elkin and I would speak for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. In fact, Dame Eugenia speak about him in the book that I wrote about her. So I will reference that some other time. He was a kind of a trickster somewhat too, but he knew a lot of stuff. So Elkin explained to me that the road network in Dominica was developed by the colonials. It was created for carts and donkeys and horses, carriages. And if he tell me, observe every bridge, there is never a straight approach to a bridge. There's always a curve getting into the bridge. And he told me they curved the road so that when the horses were trafficking with the carts and carriages, they would not come down the incline so quickly. They had to turn around before they get to the bridge, and that would allow them to slow down before they get into the bridge. So not many bridges in Dominica, if any, has a direct entrance from the hill or from wherever. There's always the S, and the S roads, the curvy roads, were made down the hills to slow down the carriages. So if you observe down a hill, Carlos, you always find SSS. He explained to me the engineering behind those roads. Because
And I can remember if that brings to mind the entrance into Mao from south, heading north.
exactly. So that explains why down the hill you have S's and very few straight roads, as we have, let's say, in other countries and other developed countries. Because at the time, the engineering felt it best to do it that way for the carts and horses and carriages. But we don't have that anymore. So I don't see why we should have all these S's. So that's one of the things that we need to think about when we try to enhance Dominica's road network. And since the road was developed, what had been done to change the network? Nothing. Just repavement, pavement on the same old cats, donkey, dirt road. And not even broader, wider pavements, narrower pavements, because there was a time when the Freedom Party brought in people to fix the roads, Nelotier, Russian Tompkins, Sintra, to resurface all the roads on Ireland in the 1980s. Um, they resurfaced the roads. If you look at the roads between Marigot and Bells, those roads were resurfaced, but they were even made narrower.
Yes, I
They
remember.
put, Yeah, so they put asphalt on top of what was there before. But I guess in a way of maybe of saving cost, they didn't do the roads as wide. So if you look now, you will see a lower level of road plus the
Yes.
higher level, which is narrower by maybe a foot or two. So they made the road even narrower when we should have wider roads. So the advancement was not made. We still have the culverts sticking out where people hitting on those culverts and parapet. So this is what caused the lives. I mean, I'm not saying that it's just the road. There's maybe a little carelessness in the driving too. But we could have done better in terms of our road network. There's some steep corners that you have to really know how to take them in. If you can't take those corners, you will hit. So it's like a trick, it's like a jigsaw puzzle sometimes trying to drive. And one of the things that we have seen with the engineers that we have as part of what we're doing is what we could possibly do to enhance the entire Dominica road network. Not overnight, over maybe 2 or 3 terms of office. If we had been blessed with the good fortunes of serving in office for 20 years, like this government has, 23 plus years, you would have seen the kind of vision that we have for Dominica, not just in roads, infrastructure, tourism, housing. And this government, they really missed the boat. They missed the ball because Dominica should have been, and the friendship we have with China and those other countries, and with the benefits that we had from the disasters that we had and stuff, there were ample opportunities to refix, resurface, just remodel Dominica.
Alex,
but we'll do it. We'll do it when
Alex,
we get
stick a pin in this. Now you mentioned China.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned bridges.
Yeah.
You also mentioned how long ago our roads have been in existence.
Yes.
Are you aware that in 2016, China unveiled what is termed as the tallest bridge in the world?
I am aware, but yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware.
I have a video on this, and I'm not sure if you would indulge our viewers here.
Oh yeah, if you have it, my friend, let's show, because we're talking about something that is, yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about
But
it.
it's about 8 minutes long. I'm not sure that
We may not have to show everything, but we can give them a little idea, yeah.
give you an idea of the thing. Because I mean, right now the Chinese have been doing some good work for us. So in certain respects, we see a lot of equipment coming into Dominica to work on the international airport. I mean, yes, we need more work available for our local, and I would like to see more involvement of our local enterprises in those projects. But what I'm seeing there, it tells me that they are available to assist us with the development that we need. So let me just play.
China is our friend.
Yes.
And China is a friend of Dominica, not of one group of people. And I think China gives what it is that you negotiate for. So we should negotiate to get people working. If we do that, China will yield. China doesn't control how Dominica is run. So we have to go there and fight to have China understand that we need to have more Dominican input in whatever project China is doing. I don't see China having a problem with that. So I don't blame China, I blame the government that's not forcefully negotiating with China to say, look, we need at least 80% Dominicans on the job. What are you going to do for us for that? So that is where I am with that.
Allow me to just share with our viewers something that China has done in their country.
Often bathed in clouds and mist, Beipanjiang Bridge in southern China offers an otherworldly experience as you drive almost 2,000 feet above the water below. The bridge offers breathtaking and somewhat terrifying views of the rocky Beipanjiang Valley and turbulent Beipan River. The construction cost was huge, but the bridge broke records all over the world for its height and innovation, cementing China's status as the country with the highest number of tall bridges. But why does China make its bridges so tall? And will this record-holding bridge soon lose its title to some up-and-coming behemoth? Join us as we explore the incredible creation of the Beipanjiang Bridge. Built above the Beipanjiang Valley in China's Guizhou province, the Beipanjiang Bridge, also known as the Doge Bridge, sits an impressive 565 meters or 1,854 feet above the Beipan River, which is equivalent to a 200-story skyscraper. For comparison, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco is just 220 feet high, while New York's One World Trade Center, the tallest building in the U.S., stands at 1,776 feet tall. Beipanjiang Bridge is a 4-lane cable-stayed bridge on the border between the provinces of Guizhou and Yunnan, an area known for being difficult to navigate and travel. The bridge spans 1,341 meters or 4,399 feet across the valley, giving travelers a safe and breathtaking way to travel within the region. But this convenience came with a massive price tag of 1.023 billion yuan, or around 147 million US dollars. When the bridge was completed in 2016, it became the highest in the entire world thanks to the height its deck stood above the valley below, officially making it into the Guinness World Records in 2018. But its record-breaking height shouldn't be confused with the other tallest bridge in the world, the Millau Viaduct in France, which cost $424 million. The viaduct is known for its tall structure, but it definitely...
Yeah.
So there we have the bridge in China, which has been record-breaking. Alex, what would you like to say about that? I mean, you got a chance to.
Well, it's engineering ingenuity at its best. And Dominica is perfect. I'm not saying that we have to put bridges all over Dominica.
That's correct.
But Dominica is perfect for this kind of vision. And again, if you have a partner like China in a country like Dominica, China understands the value that Dominica comes with. And if you want to have a significant relationship with a country, you talk about those kind of edifice. So you see the little square bridge that China helping us to build by the river, by the rosary, all them, that's fine. But that's not where we need to go. Our vision for Rosary is not quite like that bridge, but certainly domed bridge. So for sure, Carlos, the bridge by the Windsor Park, the Isilo Black Bridge, and the bridge by KFC by the Roseau River front, those 3 bridges would be domed similar to this one, with the same cable ties, extending and keeping the bridge and the aesthetic. So you will see those 3 major marvels, so to speak.
Remember, there are 4 bridges in that area.
Well, the 4 will be domed, but the 3 major ones, yeah, the 4 bridges will be domed. The one by the Windsor Park, the Isilo Black Bridge, the one by the
original West Bridge,
and then the bridge by KFC, by the riverfront, by the market.
Right, the new West Bridge.
So probably the numerous bridge could be a little lower than them all, and probably we could go in heights, up and have it nicely layered and landscaped. But those 4 major points should be domed under our watch with our Chinese friend or whoever country friend. I think China will be our friend for a while. So our friendship, the friendship with China and Dominica will outlive the present government. And if we are fortunate enough to get in there, we'll say, China, here's what we want to do. 1, 2, 3, 4 major wonders. We can have different colors. They light up at nights. They have towering flags to the top with the Chinese flag and the Dominica flag. And they are permanent edifice that's going to last hundreds of years. No flood waters will be able to rival the bridge. Of course, we can't even have walkways for pedestrian walk for as well. Little steps, protection. We will do the aesthetics in terms of the design. But Roseau will be looking very neat with 4 major bridges in the city. Maybe one of the prettiest city in the Caribbean, when we would have been done with those bridges. And not just those bridges, but the one by the stadium. The plan would be to have an observatory restaurant on a deck, almost at the same level of the bridge dome, where people who come in for international games, for instance, cricket, would be able to sit there in an exquisite restaurant style setting and enjoy a good drink over the river while the river passes through. And of course, maybe they can even observe cricket from there if they have to, by paying a premium price. to observe cricket from there, whatever they can see, or to come there after cricket for lunch or to recreate. So that gives another point of connection with the city. The Isilo Black Bridge as well could also host a museum for trade unionists and the Isilo Black fame as well. A nice, lovely wall to build to protect the edifice and the complex that was built. I think it's the Isilo Black complex, the apartments. Are they called Isilo Black apartments? Or the bridge, or is the bridge called Isilo Black Bridge?
The bridge is called Isilo Black Bridge.
So all these apartments, they would be developed very nicely, not just the way they are now, probably redo them. So there will be a whole complex there in the name of Isilo Black, one of our champions. Up to date, state of the art appointments as part of the creation of the two bridges. So we'll have two bridges and apartments in the middle to create opportunities for younger people who would live apartment style. There are families who would live maybe mostly in family house, or people who live and work in Roseau would have apartments to do this stuff they have to do. So those two bridges would be the apartments would be sandwiched between those two bridges. Lovely riverfront. Of course, do not dredge or just dig the river, but landscape the river so that the river flows lovely as it used to flow in the past. Make the Roseau River a bit healthier. No waste, no sewage, nothing for the river. So people can actually sit there at nights or during the day to enjoy the Roseau River and stuff
See,
like that.
Alex, we have something that practically nobody else has in the Caribbean. We have a river flowing through the city, and we need to embrace this ideal and do the development that we want. Forward movement, but in keeping with what we already have, not losing.
To complement the river, yes. And, make it a healthier river, plant some wuzu grass along the riverbed, maintain it properly, check the water quality steadily, make sure everything is in order. So that is our plan in terms of the bridges. Another idea again is to create a bus stop on either ends of the city.
Now, before stick up in there. Now, the bus stop we're thinking of on the north side. There is also the vision of the vision, not division, the vision of having a multi-story parking complex in that area.
Yep.
To exit in the Solomon Lane area, higher up Goodwill.
Yep.
Now, when you have a thing like that, everybody working in the financial district and ministry area, the banks, etc., have a place to park their vehicles safely, because secured parking and an area to exit Roseau without getting involved in any traffic congestion.
Yeah. Right across there. You're going to go try to get down to the bridge, and all that congestion will be eased up. And then one of the things we want to do, if we are fortunate enough to get into office, is to promote a sort of commute in Roseau that is using energy efficient vehicles, smaller vehicles.
Easy. Whether it be electric, of course the network grid, the grid would have to be upgraded to support those things. So it's not just we're saying we're going to put electric and we're making everybody get duty free for electric vehicles.
No.
and we cannot sustain them. But
take care of the congestion and the need in Roseau. So every 10 minutes, one of those little vehicles will commute from one area to the other, and it will be states kind of subsidized, where you will pay for the service, but not as a taxi. You pay this $1, $2 every time you do it, and it just keeps going. Drivers just keep changing different shifts. And so people in Roseau, the idea for little buses and mini buses running around Roseau, picking up bags for people, no. You stay at the bus stand and people will come to you there, as is done in Barbados and Jamaica and the other places. So the commute in Roseau will be healthier, less fumes, less burnout, less congestion. That's part of the overall road network developments in Roseau. Of course, we're going to pave all the roads in Roseau. Pave. This thing of sidewalk being rocky, then people falling in sidewalk, that's a thing of the past. Culverts will be covered, and the people would have a wonderful area to walk in Roseau. One of the things that we envisage as well, Carlos, is you see the financial center, the new one that was built, and there's the Arawak on the other side. Well, Arawak would be done in our watch. We would create Arawak into what it should be spent. If it's $10 million or whatever on Arawak, fix Arawak.
And finish it. And finish it.
Of course.
Finish it.
As a theater or a cultural spot. Certainly. Right.
But this has seriously crippled the theater business in Dominica.
The arts, yes. So we'd set that up. And not only that, we would connect the financial center with the Arawak by building again over the streets, maybe 30, 40, 50 feet up, make allowances for the floats when they're passing for Carnival. But that would be an area built over between the Arawak and the financial center with again a deck up, even an office over there. Because according to how the engineering is done, the guys will tell us whether we can have enough strong foundation base to have an office center that would be accessible in the financial center and also through the Arawak, where young people could work. So that would be maybe across the street, maybe a 60-foot down. So that would be like a tunnel, so to speak. People could walk through that tunnel, and people could go through that tunnel to enter Carnival City and the Creole Music Festival. So these are the kind of ideas that we have, the things that we plan to do. And if we get a chance, we will come in there and just change Roseau in a way that Roseau will look like the city that people really would want to be, boast about, talk about. And that is just the start. I mean, there are other things that we're thinking out in terms of the other side of the city with the
I was going to mention that I don't want people to think that we want to focus on Roseau and we come from the country and we forgetting Portsmouth. So no. Portsmouth is also on the cards, but this is part one.
Part one, just Roseau, and not even all of Roseau. We can't give all our ideas because some people might take it and put in their agenda, in their manifesto for vary. But we honestly have been looking at this, speaking with engineers, and know those things are possible. We won't talk about our plans for the end of the Damien Junior Boulevard, how it connects with the People's Park, and how that connects with the new state-of-the-art library that will be built with the deck also observing the view. Not only can you or should you observe the view of the ocean from Fort Young, you can observe it as well from that
public
library space that we're going to create. That land will remain as a public space and public library. The old building that was broken down, demolished by DBS, that will be incorporated as well. And the library would serve part of the broadcasting business. It will be the office of the, let's not say too much because people might stick those things, but we have those ideas as well to connect that with DBS, go across to the Parliament building and down to the President's house, the youth center. All of this become a wonderful complex.
And including the government information. Yeah. Anyway, but we mentioned that in our manifesto in the last election.
But folks probably have not read it. Yes. So we are now saying the things that we would do. Would also look towards continuing into the old Dominica Club and also the Anglican Church. All of these are part of our overall construction development plan, and of course connecting with the areas between the Catholic Church, the Cathedral, and the SMA. All of these would get the necessary aesthetical facelift that comes with developing the city. And we will not do it as a government, we'll do it in conjunction with those
with the private sector
who are owning those edifices. So when we are done with Roseau after 2 terms, Roseau will be really a model, traditional but modern city. And this is things that we have envisioned. We have spoken about this over and over and over. And we just need the endorsement of the people and people willing to work so we can change our country for the better. Enough lip service about what Roseau can be. we are going to put the work to connect also. And after that, we have plans for Posse. We have plans for the East Black Highway. That same bridge you see there, done by the Chinese, that bridge can be done in Dominica. We have two places we are looking at for a bridge like that. Certainly, the Maho Masak area will continue to be roads passing through the city, the country, the villages, but we have a master plan for another sort of a super highway that connects the Edward Oliver Libla Highway um, from somewhere in that area as well. But we will leave that for when we.
You see, Alex, every time I think of the risk that our people take driving on the roads that we have currently now, and what a caring government should have been doing to take care of its people, it pains me.
Let's not worry about the past, my brother.
I did not go into details as to what we will do, because this is obviously part one, and in future broadcasts we'll talk about what we want to do in terms of the cliffs,
Yes.
how we're thinking good way to take care of the areas where the waves overtop onto the roads. For example, at the end of the Melville Hall Airport, there are certain other villages where the sea comes on the road. All those areas, there are ways that they can be dealt with, all in the name of future proofing moving forward. But I mean, Alex, you really don't want to buy a vehicle right now that is traversing those areas, because those vehicles would have gone through such a beating for the salt that the vehicle value is not what it would seem.
My brother.
So we have to protect our people.
My brother, in the Melville area, I see vehicles driving through the seawater, my brother. And people with consciences are in government watching that.
For years.
I'm telling you, man. And the cure and the answer is just a few dollars away. Money that they are using to do personal things can be put into that thing easily. We know it, and they know it as well. But they would not do it because their idea is not to give Dominica a chance. Their idea is for them to see how wealthy they can get, I think. But what is that going to benefit you, man? Let us fix our country so your legacy will live on. So in part one, we are suggesting that we have plans. We are not even criticizing people. We are telling Dominicans that given the opportunity with a good team in office, that's what our priorities would be. And those plans have never been heard before. We are sharing aspects of them now. Some of us, of course, is in our manifesto. And that's what we will focus on doing. Certain. Focus on doing. And if anybody else has another plan, well, let's bring this plan together and let's find which one works and let's work at it. But gone are the days when we used to try to everybody know better and everybody will do that. No, man. Right now, Dominica calls us to come together to be able to get the country to where we need to, because a lot of the countries in the world are leaving us.
Yes, leaving us behind.
You know, and
we are being left behind very, very badly.
And Dominica, and we are small but very rich, and we just have to capitalize on what we have, so people could come to Dominica and spend good money in our country. You know, we have the Windsor Park is second to none. I think if we develop it the way we're talking about with our proper lighting, I understand there's a fiasco about light. I mean, let's stop playing games for people's money, man, and let's fix our country for our people. So that we can have, I think we have in World Cup competition from the US. That's good. I promote and I applaud the state, the government, and the Cricket Association for at least being able to attract those games. But let's be the Barbados in terms of Caribbean cricket mecca. Why can't we be Barbados to cross from us? Why can't we become the better cricketing venue than them? And we have the potential, but we are not yet there. I mean, when you go to Kensington Oval, man, it's different from Windsor Park. So we want to be the stadium in the Caribbean that is the most reputable one.
Well, you see, we are already a reputable people when it comes to cricket as compared to the other Caribbean islands.
Yeah,
Because when you see West Indies comes to Dominica, we fool the Windsor Park.
easily.
And that is not something that they see in other countries around the Caribbean regularly. So it goes to show that Dominicans love their cricket, and I think we need to place more emphasis on making the aesthetics of the place a little better, and stop playing, well, like you said, games with the people's money, and do what is necessary to make the place the standard that it needs to be,
That is
compared to the other
our
other
countries.
countries and the other venues out there.
And with the riches that we have in Dominica, it's easy to fix Dominica. It is just that we have to concentrate the riches on the people and on our country, not on a few friends. We will not do that as a government. And those who are doing it now, if they're doing it now, they're making an error because we have enough money. Dominica is not a poor country, no, Carlos. The resources are being poorly managed and handled, and that is the problem. But as a government, we will not be there to look for ourselves. We are there to fix the country and putting out a call to any progressive thinking Dominican who think you have a role to play. I mean, let's work together and let's decide on what's the best way forward and get together with us. At least let's talk about it. I know people might be tempted to say, well, I can do and I can do and I can do. Yeah, it's always good that, and I feel sometimes too that I can, but at the end of the day, it's not I, it's us,
We
we. So TUD has been around. We contested the last election. We were the only party with a manifesto. We are duly registered. We have a full plan in terms of what we are. I advise people again to read our plan, see where we are, see what we have said, look at our record, and if we can build on it, let's build on it. If doesn't make sense for you at all, well, let us do something else. But until such time, let's examine what is there. Let's examine what is there and let us see what can be done. And I think if we do that, we should be okay. Our movement is not about a party, it's about unity platform for our country, for progressive politics. Because we need that in Dominica now. There's no way we can continue the old, same old.
You see, Alex, the other thing is all of us want the same thing. All of us, whether be in government or opposition.
Well,
We differ on certain ways of doing things, but if we just talk to each other and let us get to a common understanding. That's okay. You want I want to grow that tree. I want to fix that road. I want to do that party, and I want to do that show. That those kind of, we want to export X, Y, and Z. Let's talk about how we want to make Dominica better and work together to do that, and it includes the reimagining of our Dominican Road Network, which
mm,
which is something that is sorely needed. It it that has to it cannot not include the feeder roads for our farming communities.
but we have that. Carlos, you taking in too much now. Let's focus on those that are the rest will come later on, my brother. And we have that in our manifesto too. That's agriculture. That's our agricultural push. You're trying to give them too much all at once.
Yeah, but I need to touch on those things so people
Yeah, man. That's
will
easy.
understand that we're not just here on a one track idea, but it's a multifaceted approach, and it starts with reimagining Roseau, redeveloping Roseau. It includes restricting public transportation for the buses from coming into Roseau and clogging up. Well, I mean, I see it regularly. A bus would come into Roseau to come and pick up someone's groceries to go into, just to put a random village, Lapland, for example, and pull up at that junction by Whitchurch and obstructing traffic to pick up someone's groceries, when an opportunity right there can be created for someone to carry the the baggage for the person to the bus stop, which will be a general area, ease the congestion of the traffic into Roseau and make things happen a little smoother.
But I agree. And that is where we are. And as you observe, Carlos, we are not méprising anybody. We are just giving an idea of what we would like to do should we have the benefit of being in government. And even if we do not get into government and people who get there or those who are there now wants to do what we are saying, we are willing to sit down and plan and talk
And
together.
we like we always say, TUD is all engaging.
All in government, outside government, as long as you're a Dominican who believe that you want to see progress, we are with you. And so we have allies in government, we have allies outside of government. We would hope that people see us as that and not just as a party trying to get its way. No, we are Dominica's party. We are the unity party. We are team unity. We represent the colors of Dominica's national flag. We represent progress and growth and the goodness that Dominica has to offer. Because essentially, the present parties have, by far and large, failed because it's all about their interest. TUD is about Dominica's interest, at least for now. We believe at this juncture, we are what is necessary to move the needle forward. Later on, you can have parties again if you want. But for now, we believe, and based on what the people are saying, that is how we're going to grow our country collectively as a people under a banner of unity. Some people don't understand it. Some say all kind of things about us, but that is generally what we are, Carlos. And I'm happy that we can actually share some of our vision of part one. I don't think we should belabor the discussion anymore. I think we have done that, and maybe on part two, Carlos, we'll continue. We'll have part three and four of that because the road
Oh
network.
yes, I have a lot to say, and probably we can engage someone to have a discussion. Not sure who we can, but
Whoever, and it doesn't matter if you don't have any, but we can do it. We are marketing and selling the brand. There'll be others who will join in and do whatever they have to do later. So let us make sure we sell that brand well, because you'll have to learn from mistakes made. And there are times in the past where I didn't do what was necessary to have been done to sell the product properly, make sure you establish it, and it makes it easy for people to dismantle your stuff when it is not being properly presented. So what we're doing now is presenting our platform in a way that no one can have any ambiguity as to what we're about. They may speak, but what we are presenting on the record is on the record. For anybody to check back at and say, oh, that's what TUD is about, that's what they have always said. So that is the good thing what we're doing. If you can get other people to come in, fine. But you know what it is that we're working with. I know, and the other members who are part of our stuff know what we're working with. And I think it's our job to sell it to the people.
okay. So folks, this we can look at wrapping up part one of reimagining the Dominican Road Network on the TUD government. The, in this episode, we speak about the Roseau Road Network and reimagining that, and we haven't touched on all areas. There, there are specific areas that we can go into more detail on, such as parking, which is an area that I touched on briefly. But there are other areas in the parking problem that we can look at, or we have been looking at in terms of solving those issues. And those we can probably discuss at a later time. But for now, we just want to give you a sort of teaser as to what we have in mind and in store for Dominica and Roseau, with a TUD government giving a mandate of the country to govern. So, Alex, is there anything that you would like to add before we close?
No, that's pretty much it, man. We had a good time. I hope the people who will be checking out our program, and there must be at least one or two people who will, they see what we are about and they would continue going and we build from strength to strength. And who knows, man, Carlos, we will be having that conversation in the confines of the cabinet of Dominica sometime in the future. You never know. And it would be a good thing because our idea and motivation is to help our country and our people. So thanks for the time, and I'm looking forward to future engagements with you, my dear friend.
On behalf of myself and the rest of the team, thank you for tuning in, and see you at the next time for next TUD roundtable discussion. Have a good afternoon and go out and have a good week. Don't forget, tomorrow is Flag Day in Dominica, Independence.